Hey everyone, I'm Jack Stange with Supreme Lending, and I have some guests with me today.
Hi, I'm Julie Johnsen with Keller Williams.
Mitch Johnsen with Shoreline Builders.
So thanks for hanging out today and chatting. So I know you're a realtor and you're a builder, so you guys have been working as a team for some time now, haven't you?
Yeah, it's been about 15 years.
Very cool. And how'd you guys get started?
Well, I've been doing it for almost 30 plus years. And when Julie and I got together, then, she just jumped right in and started doing a lot of design work and sales work. And it's just been a great synergy.
What are some of the things you look for in potential for a good house to buy?
Well, when most people look at their first house, they don't know how long they're going to live there, So when we're showing people new houses, we kind of, ask and preface, how long do you think you might live here? Mm-hmm. Or are you thinking about doing a flip on this house? Are you going to put sweat equity into it? Are you going to hire somebody to do it? That helps us to give them the best advice. Once we look at a house, we know what they want.
If it's lights on or 10-year, it really does change the projection.
Because there's a diminishing return on a house on how much you put into it and what you're going to get back.
Right.
So if you're going to live there forever, you do whatever your heart's desire. Mm-hmm. But if it's a short term, you do it real nice because you're going to live there.
Yeah.
But don't go overboard for the neighborhood.
Yeah. Very cool. I like that a lot because it's really getting down to client by client. It's going to be different for everyone. So really having these conversations up front so we are under the same understanding, we can help serve the best interests for the long term. So what would you recommend for someone in that situation where maybe it's 3 years, we want to live here, but we're not really seeing exactly what we want. We want to renovate. We want to have a project. Do we just reach out and have an initial conversation with you?
For sure. Yeah. Have us come take a look at a house that you think is a real prospect. And then we can go through it and figure out what it would cost to remodel it, what it would cost for you to remodel it yourself, and what the end price would be when you're done 3 years out, doing some projections.
Right.
Not that anyone has a crystal ball on real estate values, but we've been doing this a long time, and we know where the value is and where the value isn't.
Right.
But when you walk into a home, I always feel that if you get a certain feeling and you do fall in love with it, but you see that the kitchen really does need to be remodeled, don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to reach out and just see what we could make it into.
For sure. For sure. Many houses that we have looked at with clients, they're kind of give the ick look with a basement or some bathrooms.
Yeah.
And then when we tell them how much it will cost and how quickly we can get it done, they are just floored and amazed and happy because now they got the location they want, the house they want, and the price they want.
Right.
Yeah.
And how often can you get all three of those things in a turnkey house? It's rarely going to have, especially for
Rarely.
home buyers.
For sure.
That price point
Never.
is very tough.
It is.
So that's really important for people to know. I mean, the renovation loan option to be able to get pre-approved and shop, and if you're not seeing what you like, bump the price of the house down a little bit to cover the gap and
That's right.
have a renovation piece financed in. So have you worked with people using those type of renovation loans in the past?
Yeah, for sure. We've worked with people who do bridge loans, straight up construction loans for the remodel. And it's always been real smooth. So we've always submitted our request for a draw. Generally, it takes 3 or 4 days to get that draw. So it's not that much different than dealing with a homeowner. It's just you have to be a little bit patient getting that first payment. But after that, it goes very smoothly.
Very cool. So that's something that could ease some tensions. I mean, if it's a matter of not finding what you want, not buying, or here's another option to really turn that first home into exactly what you want it to be.
Exactly.
So is that, as a realtor, is that something that you would start with, or are you going to exhaust all your options on the house search and then now we can look into something that's going to take a little bit more work?
Well, what I have found is depending on the area that they want to live in, and if they're willing to expand that radius, that really tells a story.
Yeah.
So I have found it both ways.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when you guys were in your house right now, beautifully remodeled, how long did the project take? Has it been years on years?
It has been years, but
We've been living through it.
Yeah.
And most of it's been done.
most of it was done in the first year
Yeah.
after work and on weekends.
Yeah.
I probably have 1,000 hours in this house.
Wow.
Doing it after hours.
Yeah.
But it's worth it.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And it's always exciting to work on your own house.
And our vision was to create this oasis. And I think we've done it.
Yeah, for sure.
That's awesome.
Yeah. And a lot of times we find that with a new home buyer who might have a budget they think is $300,000 or $350,000, they're not going to get a house that has everything they need. But at least if they can talk to you and find out, well, how much would a construction loan cost? What is the total going to be? Then they know ahead of time that if we're looking at a house for $275,000, they know that if we tell them, yeah, we can do everything you need to have done,
Yeah.
and still keep it under $350,000, then they're going to find something.
Very cool.
Absolutely. It's the communication and the relationship that you have with them, and knowing that they can trust us as their team.
Right. That's fantastic. The average first-time home buyer is going to be pre-approved and shop for a month or so. And after a month, they might be like, we're in a really good spot, or we're not seeing what we like. So if we get to that point and we're not seeing what we like, we have the option of doing a remodel, so we can kind of cross a lot of the boxes that aren't being checked at the current market. So for someone looking at doing a kitchen or doing full remodel, is there any time too soon to reach out? I mean, is there a best way to do it?
Yeah, the best way to do it is to get someone like me in there prior to buying. If you really like a house and Julie says, Mitch, come over here. We need to take a look at this one, make sure everything is either good as is, or how much would it cost to add a bath, or how much would it cost to redo the kitchen. I can shoot a price quick, and then that could be reflected before they buy instead of buying one after the fact, finding out that it's way over budget
And getting stuck
get-
with 50
to get what they want.
Right.
You know, it's always better to do it beforehand, and I don't charge anything to do that. It's just part of our commitment to the customer and clients to do that prior to purchase.
And that's very, very cool. And Julie, is that something that you have learned maybe by osmosis or through experience over the years of showing homes and here's where we're going to really start it?
Yeah, absolutely. Because I think the most important thing, or one of them, is figuring out, number one, where do you want to live? Where do you want to be? And we've always said, of course, try and find the best neighborhood with the home that potentially, if you cannot afford to buy it, maybe scale back a little bit, move down a couple blocks, and, you know, if there's something that you need to remodel, perhaps a kitchen or a bathroom, then I would recommend going that way.
Very cool.
Well, then you can create some upside right away.
Yeah.
Whether it's sweat equity or having somebody else like myself do the work.
Yeah.
At least you know what it's going to cost ahead of time. And I can even let them know, hey, if you do it yourself, you could probably do it for this much.
Yeah.
And if you need help, just let us know.
Right.
We'll help you along the way.
So what would you say the average time to do, let's say to do a full kitchen?
Full kitchen remodels are usually 8 to 12 weeks.
Cool.
Yeah. That's it with all new cabinets, all new countertops, you know, basically gutting them. So sometimes we can get them done as quick as 6. Very cool. It's better to figure 8 to 12.
And then I can partner with them as well and help with the design aspect.
Yeah.
So a lot of people love that as well.
That's very good. And how about a bathroom? Is a bathroom similar? Is that easier?
No, bathrooms are easier. Even a master bathroom, though, you can usually get done in 6 to 8. And if it's just more of a mild remodel, it might be as quick as 2 weeks.
Very cool. That's really good for people to know, because I feel like a lot of people think that doing these remodels is a big undertaking. It can be financially stressful, but it's kind of up to you of whatever you're looking for. Do you see a lot of people looking for, you know, higher end and lower end, or what's kind of your bread and butter?
Well, out here in Orono Long Lake area, it's a little bit more of a niche. You know, there's some high-end, really super high-end houses, and then there's some average homes.
Yes.
But you can create a lot of value on either scale,
Right.
depending upon what you want to spend. It just depends on what the budget is.